our video was centered around the larger purchases in life, including starting a business, managing everyday investments, and saving for large purchases.
Our video included interviews from teachers, students, consumers, and a business owner.
I think it's really important to have a savings account, and once I figure out what my profit will be from whatever job I have, I'll just subtract the necessary amount and work from there.
So I read that the best way to budget your money is to determine exactly what you have to spend on necessities. So like to spend an entire month without going out to restaurants or like buying extra makeup or clothes or anything like that. You just get the necessities for that month. And then whatever money you have at the end you can spend the next month, and then you continue that. So if you have to buy something large like a laptop, or you need to buy something like a house, so you save up the money that you have extra at the end of those months, and then until you are able to make that purchase. So that's kind of how I plan on budgeting.
I think I'll just have to give up just lots of additional little costs like eating out or buying clothes, and also give up a little bit of free time like when I'll be working in college, and just know that I have to sacrifice that to be financially stable later on.
Luckily, I got a fair amount of scholarship money, but that does not mean that I have not going to have to give up anything. So like in order for me to have money for Boston so I can have like a social life, I will have to sort of give up my social life as it stands right now. So I can't, like during the summer I'll have a job, but like in order to make the amount of money that I need to buy a laptop and everything, I will have to give up going out to restaurants and like spending more than like a very small amount of money, and I'm not really excited about that.
I have done it both by myself and with a financial advisor. Yes. The advice I would give you is, while in school, take as many finance courses as you possibly can to learn about how to manage money, as well as when you get out of school, go ahead and make contact with a financial advisor and see what advice they have, because it will change depending on the economy. Well, I think it just, you can't completely get out of the market. I think you've got to understand that you're going to have ups and downs within the market, and it's really a marathon rather than a short sprint. So you just have to look at it over the long term instead of being quick to react to either ups or downs in the market. Again, they need to make sure they're taking finance courses while in school, but when they get out of school, they need to understand how much money to invest and make their choices wisely on where they spend their money, so they'll have money to invest in other things and save. The longer you can save, the more chance that you're going to have for early retirement or to be able to enjoy life later.
What did you do to save money when you were in college?
Well, in college, it was more about just getting by while I was there. Did not have a lot of extra income to save. It's really when you get out of college and you get a job, you got the opportunity at that point to start putting money away.
Try to have a part-time job if the curriculum isn't too overwhelming. For instance, I took 15 hours in college and had a part-time job and was able to save money working 30 hours a week. Minimized having more lavish things in life, lived more conservatively, went out less to dinner with friends. Usually if the parents were offering to take my friends and myself out, we usually saved there and ate a lot of ramen noodles.
Talk about saving money too.
and with the saving money was able to not have to take out student loans, which I didn't have to repay back after graduation, and had an envelope that I would put so much of my earnings from my part-time job, and tried to put back $50 to $100 a week, which helped significantly after graduation.
Some of the first steps were, since I have a partner, develop a partnership, an operating agreement, so we get a bank account, and then formulate a business plan and budget for our business. Our particular business, we had to, again, develop a budget for what we needed to spend on equipment. Since we're in the business of drones, some of this equipment is very expensive and very expensive to insure. So worked on trying to figure out what market segments we were going to go after and what expertise and what specialty we were going to develop. In that, we decided which equipment we were going to buy, and yes, insurance for this equipment is very expensive since they're considered to be aircraft and they are insured as such. Developing technology has definitely affected our business because that's what we're in the business of. We are in a cutting edge industry in which there are changes daily. So that affects us a great deal, in which we have cutting edge aircraft and sensors to put on the aircraft, but as soon as we deploy them in the field, there are almost instant advances in the technology. So sometimes this is referred to the bleeding edge instead of the cutting edge, because when you're on the bleeding edge, that means you're in a technology space that's ever changing, on the forefront of mankind's capability, and therefore the most expensive. So it affects us because we need to stay on the cutting edge of the technology to separate ourselves from our competitors. Best financial advice I could give to someone is probably twofold. Always plan on spending more than you anticipate. No matter how much you budget, you never budget enough. So there's always surprises. There's always unanticipated consequences. There's always a need for more capital. So you have to budget to the best of your ability, but always plan on spending definitely a little bit more. With the drone industry, it is federally regulated very heavily, so we're under the purview of the FAA. High-tech, yes, is under the purview of the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. It's the pressure. So anything deemed made by man that takes flight is considered an aircraft. So therefore, the FAA is a federal agency that protects the national airspace. So drones are a part of the national airspace. Therefore, we had to get permission to operate as a commercial entity. We also have to get all our pilots licensed. So virtually anything we do is under the watchful eye of the federal government. What have we done to advertise? Not that much, because it is so new and a sort of a niche expertise of what we're doing. So we tried to do things like social media posts. We tried to do a little PR. We have done a little bit of marketing, but not any kind of mass marketing effort, because basically our marketing efforts have been individuals developing business for us. So it's sort of an interpersonal relationship.
So I'm the geeky person that actually has an account with Consumer Reports. And so if I'm looking for a washing machine, a car, it doesn't matter, anything large, I will go on Consumer Reports and read every single review and pay attention to what people have said. And I specifically start with the worst reviews, so I can read what they say first.
Well, I don't really plan ahead for large purchases because I don't make large purchases. Even my home, I've never really borrowed a whole lot on even a home. A car is probably the most expensive thing I've ever purchased, and I usually finance it. But as far as planning ahead, I only buy a car when I absolutely have to. So maybe once every 25 years, and that's not an exaggeration.
Millions. The cost of tuition is just so high. The cost of daycare is so high. And children's clothing are surprisingly expensive, even though they're so small. And it's a lot, to feed an extra person and to think about if she's going to have a car and things like that. So I think she's going to be pricey.
So as far as health insurance and car insurance for 2 teenage boys is, well, that's $1 million right there.
Per child?
Sure.
All right, let's say 1 to 1.5 million. Low ball.
Dying breath.
Yeah, I'd have to take Andy's figure and probably double that for you.